So Wednesday, 20th May, I spoke to Eugene face to face, and I told him I am not coming back to CKB. This was something a long time coming behind the scenes, and we have an understanding. Yeah, I won't lie, it sucks.
And I don't know what's going on with Carlos Ulberg. It seemed like Carlos Ulberg and him had a little bit of a weird thing. Now Carlos Ulberg's the champion. I could be, as a conspiracy theorist, I could think that Adesanya was always the man. He made City Kickboxing. He put City Kickboxing really on the map. Then you got these young up-and-comers coming up because they're there, because Adesanya put them on the map, like Carlos Ulberg. Ulberg becomes a champion. He starts getting the treatment like Adesanya used to get back in the day, and there's just this weird thing where he's not getting the attention that he used to get.
It's like Dirk Diggler and Boogie Nights.
Yeah, exactly. And Adesanya said, "You know what? You're my best friend, and now it's over.
Yeah,
I'm out."
We got similar things on Fighting Nerds, because Rufy got out of the team, but I'm still cool with Rufy. You know that. He wanted to choose his path, his way, you know what I mean? And I don't blame him for that, you know? If you don't, actually, as a fighter, if you don't feel like 100% secure and confident, like 100%, not 95, I'm saying like 100% confident and secure and, you know, good with the team behind you, you shouldn't stay there, you know what I mean? Like if there's even especially like a little bit of lack, exactly, a little bit lack of confidence or anything like that, like you should try to or you fix it up, you know, or you just need to find somewhere, you know.
Dude, if I'm, say Suge for example, we've been together for so long, there's not a lot of new things I'm going to teach him. I do know him very, very well. Just leaving completely, like, hey, okay, yeah, maybe I would encourage that. I would say, dude, yes, you're my friend. I care about you. I want you to be confident. I want you to be happy to show up to training. And I'll still help that coach or help you as much as I can. As much as I can help you. Maybe I'll even be there for you fight week. But to just say I'm going to leave completely, I'm not even going to have, what was his name? The coach? Eugene Behrman. So it's like you never know what's goes on in these relationships. Maybe Eugene's like, hey, you're either on, do you do our program or you don't do nothing at all. You kind of make that decision.
You can't just keep bashing your head against the same wall. So yeah, he wants a fresh approach. I don't know what he's going to do next. I haven't. He's obviously said that he's not working here, and I know he's still working with, still our coaches outside of the gym at City Kickboxing. I'm just excited to see what he does next. I don't know. Obviously, above teammate, above any kind of teammate, me and Israel are close friends. So yeah, I'm excited to see the changes that he makes. I'm excited to see what his plan is. He always likes to have his cards very close to his chest. Like he doesn't really go talking shit about anything until it's like you know that when he says something, then he's gone and done it. So I feel like it's just the start of a new chapter, and I'm excited to see what the plan looks like.
Not surprised when you come from 5 losses, you need to change, I think. Or, yeah, I mean, I don't know how he handles with this, how his team works with him, but I think you need to change something or bring different people or learn different things. Yeah, he should do something different.
Yeah. I mean, whenever someone feels like they need to make a statement about it, I always feel like there's a lot more to the story than they want to say. But the statement is, you know, something needed to be said, if you like. And I think it's sad. You know, it's always sad when relationships fracture like that, especially when they've been so positive for everybody involved. You know, but things do run aground. You know, and people do outgrow each other at times, especially in work environments when people are grafting and everything can work really well and everyone can get on really well when success is the norm. But you know, when people start to struggle and there's ups and downs, and the other thing as well is there was a point where, you know, Adesanya was the guy and everybody else was a part of his team. And now other people on the team are starting to branch off and have their own success and their own attention. And I would imagine that's somewhat divided the energy in the team a little bit.
I can get it because City Kickboxing has blown up now. I think they've won like Gym of the Year now in like some consecutive years. So people are going to want to go there, especially after you start blowing. A bunch of guys are starting to get to the UFC. Yeah. They're starting to get ranked and they're starting to get up there. People are going to want those same teachings and all those things. And then they're in South America. They're in New Zealand. So if the coach one of the guys has to fight and the coach has to be there, that's now a week, 2 weeks that you don't have your head coach there, your guy that's supposed to be leading your camp or whatever, especially if you got all these guys at the highest level, that are steady competing all over the world and none of these are close to home. So I could see how that could be a thing.
If you keep doing the same thing and you're expecting different results, you're, like he said, like, what's that quote? Like, if you're, it's like the
insanity.
definition
of insanity.
of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Like, it hasn't been working for him with Eugene and those guys. He's going to change up, and I guarantee you he's not leaving everybody in that team. I think he's more just taking like this is Izzy, and he's just going to take this coach. Like, he's going to play
isolated.
He's like more of like a boxing approach where like they build the camp around them. Like, it's not like an ATT. It's not a City Kickboxing. Like, he's just going to build a team around him for what exactly he needs. And I guarantee you some of those people from that team will still be involved in that.
I've always just been very big on training with multiple different people, different gyms, different teams, different ideologies, and it's just from the wrestling background. That's what we do. We train everywhere. Get as much experience as you can. When I came down back home to Long Island, it was kind of more like most of the guys, it was kind of shunned upon. Like, you didn't see a whole lot of cross-training, different guys from different teams coming over. Not too often, at least not when I was coming up in the Long Island scene with the guys when I came back from college. But when we were upstate, I was at Team Bomb Squad. We cross-trained a lot of different gyms came over. We went to different places and things like that. I think it's good. I think it's healthy. I think people that kind of shut out to just wanted to do one thing one way, I don't think one team, one gym, one person has all the answers. I think it's understanding what works best for you, and I think this is probably a great time for Izzy. I'm not saying he's going to go learn something from somebody else, but it might be a change of pace, which kind of gets him more excited to want to wake up and go to the gym again, right? So I think it could be a good, healthy thing for him.
Izzy is kind of going stagnant, right? Like I think he's learned everything he can learn there. He's mastered all the techniques and all the teachings of there, and now it's time to evolve. He has to get better with his boxing. His boxing has to get better, and it has to improve. Whatever adjustments they've made in his boxing just haven't worked, right? So if he needs to go and seek that out elsewhere, that's something that he should definitely do.
I mean, the one of the biggest impacts and one of the most clear impacts was when Usman started training with
Trevor Whitman.
Trevor Whitman, yeah. His basics, his straight punching and his basic footwork just jumped up. I'm like, man, that was a good move. And it's not like the people that he was working with before weren't teaching him how to throw a jab and a cross. It's just maybe the way that it was passed over from Whitman to Usman just clicked in a different way. It's the same, like often when we're at the gym, you know, I'll say something to a fighter and then someone else will come over and say the same thing and we'll say it in a different way. And I think sometimes there's a benefit in that. And I think maybe Izzy just needs a refresh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it all. He's coming to the end of his career. I think that's fair to say. And maybe he's just not gelling there anymore. Maybe there's some personal things.
I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people are making reference to that, like Ulberg is there and, you know, he's got to be the focus of the gym because he's the champ, and then Izzy's not getting the focus, or who knows if Eugene told him to retire. And I realize that the more recent comments that Eugene Behrman was making do not indicate that he was thinking about retirement. But I don't know how many he's made post Pyfer fight, and who knows if past that he thought, hey, it's time for Izzy to retire.
And Eugene Behrman has talked in the past about some of the issues that they had leading up to fights, having to have heart-to-hearts, having to have come-to-Jesus moments, having to have, like true hard conversations with one another about, are we in it? Are we together? Are we aligned? Are we on the same page? I remember him being in studio before, I think it was the Alex Pereira fight in New York City, talking about this quite openly, which is not something that you usually get. John Kavanaugh talked about this prior to the Khabib fight. There were two ships passing in the night. And he talked about getting off the bus and all this stuff. And so there is a thing that happens, especially when you reach a certain status, reach a certain point. There is a decision that has to be made. Either you're going to leave, either you're going to move, you're going to be in a different city.
At a certain point, you start to think about, I need more specialized training. Like when you're in these big rooms, it's great, especially when you're young. But then when you get older, you start thinking you need more specialized training. But there's a certain point where it might be too late. And for him, it might be too late because I think he's a little older and he might be who he is as a fighter. Like, you kind of need that specialized training the whole time. For his sake and for his legacy, I hope he finds what he's looking for. Yeah, I really do, because, he was a great champion, and it would suck to see him go out on like 5 losses in a row.
You never want to think that you're down and out, right? You're a champion, you want to get that belt back. I think Demetrius Johnson did a great breakdown of it because he talked with Israel about this. I feel like he just wants to add some new wrinkles to his game, right? If he's at a gym that's maybe not the best at wrestling and that part of his weakness that guys are taking advantage of, find somewhere where he can build off of it,
What I feel on his fights is that he just lose connection. You know what I mean? Like, he's winning the first round, he's doing very good against Imavov, against Joe Pyfer. He was doing very nice. And then suddenly he just
everybody
get out. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is not about too much about technique or anything. I think it's more about confidence of the people that you get on your side, that you get behind you. You know what I mean? That the connection that you have with your coaches and all that. I don't think that's strong enough for him to keep focused on the fight, that he can win the fight, though. And he has the all rights to do that.
Dude, I mean, if Izzy went back and looked at his fights, he could be like, okay, this is a decisions I'm making. But again, if you've been at a gym for 17 years and you're such a vet and you don't feel like you're really leveling up, and it sounded like Izzy wanted more of like a team that's more focused on him, which is deserving. It's like if you come in, it's like, hey, Kay, we got a group of 20, 30 guys here. We're going to work on this. It's like, dude, this guy's making multiple millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You should come into practice and say, hey, what are we doing for this guy? What are we going to do to get this guy ready? I think at that elite level, again, the top 5 guys, I feel like they need to have their own training camps.
You don't think they have that?
I don't think they do.
I guess didn't really know what he was going to do, whether he was going to come back or not. It's but if he feels like making a change and that's the right thing to do, and he's good with everyone there, then that's what he's doing.